Everyone's photography journey started somewhere. Mine just happens to be a complete hot mess. It all began when I purchased this camera here. During the next few days, I thought to myself I needed all kinds of other things, and I went ahead and purchased a filter, a bag, a remote, and yet another remote on top of the remote that I already had, and this tripod. I thought I was going to be taking National Geographic level type of pictures. My pictures were complete garbage. I mean, they looked like they were taken with a 2010 cell phone. So I did something that I probably shouldn't have done, but I went on the internet and conducted some so called research and eventually ended up convincing myself that it was definitely the camera and the lens, but it was definitely not me. So basically, I ended up going down to the store again and I got a better camera. It was not the best camera, but it was better than what I had. And according to the salesperson, it came with a better lens. So, anyways, I go back home and I go and take more pictures. And Lord behold, I am completely horrified. They are exactly the same. There is nothing appealing about these pictures. They just look flat. And now they look like they were taken with a 2011 cell phone. So at this point, I have more questions than I have answers. And I'm like, okay, I think I just need to go online and look up how to be a better photographer. So I did what everybody always does. I went to YouTube and I went to the little search bar and I typed in how to be a better photographer. And I thought that I could just learn this way. Wrong, wrong. What in the world is an aperture?
Aperture refers to an opening of a lens's diaphragm through which light passes. It is calibrated in f-stops and is generally written as numbers such as 1.42, 2.84, 5.6, 8, 11, and 16. Lower f-stops give more exposure because they represent the larger apertures, while the higher f-stops give less exposure because they represent the smaller apertures. This may seem a little contradictory at first, but will become clear as you take pictures at a very fine f-stops.
What the hell did I just read? What was all that? That was complete gibberish. Anyways, the next thing that I needed to do is find out what is shutter speed. Maybe this will make sense.
Shutter speed is a measurement of the time the shutter is open, shown in seconds or fractions of a second. 1s, 1.5s, blah 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 blah. The faster the shutter speed, the shorter the time the image sensor is exposed to light. The slower the shutter speed, the longer the time the image sensor is exposed to the light.
Why is everybody talking about the light? I mean, seriously. Okay, so the next thing I'm supposed to be reading about is this ISO. Here we go again.
Blah 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 blah. ISO ISO ISO. Blah 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 blah. This makes absolutely no sense. I don't even know why I'm reading this anymore, and I quit.
That's right. You heard that correctly. I decided that I was going to just quit photography. I mean, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I have no idea where any of these buttons are on my camera. And all of this information that I just read literally made me feel like my brain was spaghetti. Nothing really made sense. So I thought maybe I'm just too dumb for photography and I can't even get this done right. So I decided to go on a search of photography classes around me. And I just happened to get lucky because there were some photography classes that were going to be going on that weekend. So I enrolled and lied about knowing about photography because I was desperate. And I ended up getting into a class that had nothing to do with the basic essentials, but it was an HDR class. And at least I got to be around people that kind of knew what they were doing and they were willing to sort of help me out. Anyways, everything is going really well until I get asked the dreaded question.
What type of photographer are you?
What? What do you mean? What kind of photographer am I? I don't know. And then I realized that there was all kinds of photography. And stand by because this list is kind of long.
First, there were portrait photography, and this includes, but it's not limited to, kids, senior portraits, graduation, maternity, family, sports, newborns, holidays, corporate headshots, professional headshots, indoor, outdoor, pets, engagement portraits, couples, people with cars, high fashion, urban fashion, boudoir, beauty portraits. Then there are weddings, small weddings, large weddings, weddings that need more than one shooter. Okay, alrighty. There is night photography, creative photography, painting with light, HDR, traveling photography, landscape photography, product photography, branding photography, advertisement photography.
Well, I'm back to square one. I have absolutely no idea what type of photographer I am at this point.